Sunday bites and tidbits. This life they'll help you live it and get yourself together. Sunday bites and tidbits.
Hey, ladies. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Bites and Tidbits. How you doing, Babette?
I'm great, thank you. How are you guys?
Sylvia, how are you?
Well, I'm just darn tootin'. I like your hair.
Yes.
Thank you. In honor of Michelle Obama. She killed it.
Oh, yes, she did. They all did.
Whoa.
That whole thing was like from the musicians to the speakers to how everybody looked, just so fabulous. It was amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and rewatch everything so I can pause and soak it in, and then watch it and soak it in.
Yeah, I just kind of go to YouTube and find all the different clips, and then I can watch it a clip at a time because I get so distracted. You know me, y'all. And today I'm going to be wearing my computer glasses because my eyes are so tired from the trip. Oh, look, we all having glasses.
These are my blue light things?
Yeah, these are my blue light things. These are the blue lights because my eyes are just so burnt out from traveling, not getting any sleep. And last night we had our sushi karaoke vegan party, which was just off the charts. I danced and sang and hosted all night. So what's going on, ladies? What's been happening in the world?
The DNC. I mean, everything. You know, I mean, that's all I've been thinking about this week, right? Like I've been focused on, I find myself getting emotional while watching it at really weird moments.
Yes.
Just all of a sudden it hits me what's happening. Yeah. And I'm like, wow.
And it's something about, I know, and I'm not saying anything against any other ethnicity or nationality, nothing. This is something about being a Black person at this particular moment when you watch the changes that we've gone through and the advancements that we have made, and to see the representatives on that stage. It was just so empowering, and it was emotional. You know, it's kind of like when Obama first became president, everybody was just crying. You know, I remember seeing that photo of Jesse Jackson was just smiling, but just tears coming down because it's that constant. It's like when you have constantly been moving towards something, any goal, and you finally see a little hint of it happening, you just cry. You're just so happy that you made it to that finish line, you know?
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's so many reasons around it and so many things. It means something different to everybody, you know? But we've been, when we walk in the morning, we've been just talking about it and what it means and what it could mean and all of that. And honestly, audience, if you guys haven't seen the episode with Carol Moseley Braun, please watch it because she says some things for Vice President Harris that are so relevant right now that are just really empowering and really powerful. Babette, what's going on in your world? Ma, I heard y'all were traveling this weekend.
Well, first of all, Babette gave a powerhouse speech that's gone viral. Make sure you check that out. But let's talk, Babette. Say something.
Well, basically, we learned a really good lesson about timing and being where you're supposed to be when you're there, no matter how aggravated you get because things are not going according to the original plan. Terrah and she went with me for a gig at the what was it?
The Black Vegan
Veg Fest in New York. And there was weather issues when we were ready to come back home. We were supposed to leave on Sunday, and the airports were pretty much shut down unless you were traveling internationally. And it was so fun. As aggravating as it was, it turned out to be so fun. And then we had an opportunity to stay at Terrah's sister's house, her house is like a hotel, had my own room, It just turned out okay. Terrah had people at the airport doing plank competition, uh, sit-ups. She was over there taking care of all of the information about our flights. She made up a song about what was that song, Terrah, you made up?
Well, what happened was our flight was number 285, and they kept giving information on all the other flights, but 285. So
and she kept, give me an update on 285. She had everybody in the airport clapping and singing. Oh my God. So it really turned out to be a little mini vacation. And so sometimes you have to know that you are exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that was the lesson overall.
So I would start by saying that is what you like to say is one of the things that you've learned, or one of the things that have inspired you this week. And I will piggyback that. Even getting ready to go last night to the sushi karaoke that I kind of came up with the idea along with two friends to do at this place once a month, which every time the month comes, I go, oh God, I don't want to leave my house. I just don't want to leave, especially on the heels of just getting back in town. But then I get there and I just get this surge of energy, and I feel like I'm feeding so many people, not physically food, but the food of the soul, the food of freedom, the food of excitement to just be. And so many people come in there, oh, I don't sing, girl. Oh, no, not me. But by the time I give them that look, like, come on, that we've had so much fun that they jump up and they grab the mic and they're singing and dancing, and it's a release of life. And that, I think, for me, is being of service in a way that gives people permission to be.
Yeah. Let me tell you, when we got, they booked us to leave. We were supposed to leave Sunday. And so they book us on a flight for Tuesday. We're at Newark Airport. They book us out of JFK. And it's a connecting flight in Seattle. So she goes and she makes friends with the brand new gate agent leaving JFK. Was it? Yeah, JFK.
In New York.
And he puts us up in what class?
Premium class.
Premium. It was, this girl makes friends. Now, I thought I made friends with everybody. Terrah gets it done. Let me tell you, I'm just sitting back going, what we do now? Where we go now? What's happening now? Everybody in the airport asking Terrah. So, excuse me, what they say? What?
Excuse
Terrah's
me, Miss.
Like, I don't work here.
Miss, could you answer some questions? I'm like, I don't work here. That's not what we do here. But anyway, so yes, it's for me, I've learned the lesson that whatever gifts I have, let it be of service to others who may not have the gift of being free and carefree, because that's what I do very well. So that's what I'm going forward with. Silvia.
I mean, I'm listening, but I'm soaking it all in, because it for me, again, it comes to scripture. There's a scripture that says all things work together for the good of them who love God and are called according to their purpose. And that's what you see, it happen all the time. You're like, why did this happen? And then something else happens and you go, oh, if that hadn't happened, then, And so all those people that got fed at the airport, they got fed because you were there. There because you chose not only to allow what was happening to happen, but you chose to embrace the moment and allow the love of God to flow through you in the moment. That, it's not easy. It's not easy.
No.
And it did, because we got there at 2:30 in the afternoon. We didn't leave till 11 o'clock at night, and people were laughing and everybody was frustrated and tired. But because of that energy, people were having a good time.
And people made that point.
Are coming over saying, what are you guys doing over here? Laughing. And it was incredible.
They'll never forget it. It imprinted.
And it's probably posted somewhere on social media, because everybody took out their phone. But it was also the key where people made a point of letting me know at the end, saying, Miss, you would just, thank you. You guys made me smile.
She had people going, that's my girl. I just fell in love with her. I was like,
an older white gentleman who looked like,
he fell in love
he
with
says, this is my new favorite person right here. Now that brought us together. I don't know whether he's Republican, Democratic, or none of the above.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter. At that moment, we were all stuck at the airport, and at that moment, he found a kinship and a love for someone like me.
And so did you, though.
Right, and so did I. But I, so it's just really what it's about. But I'm so excited about our next guest because yes, we gotta bring her in, because what's so great about her is that when we talk about overcoming and moving through, this girl was in the Olympics. And so that says enough if you know the kind of discipline that it takes.
She's absolutely gorgeous too. I think she just turned 60. Unbelievable. But she's gorgeous. And she's so sweet, so fun. Yeah.
And now she's an
entrepreneur.
entrepreneur.
And she's so fit. I can't wait to hear her story.
And yes, anyway, so let's welcome in our guest for today, Arnita Champion. And with the last name Champion, girl, you better be
I know.
Champ. Come on in, Arnita. Hey, Arnita.
Hello, hello.
I'm putting on my glasses because my eyes are burning from my whole long weekend. These are my blue screen glasses. They help with the screening. But anyway, welcome to Sunday Bites and Tidbits.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Well, you look gorgeous, darling.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
Beautiful. You are gorgeous. I can't wait to hear your story. And I've been all over your website and looking at all your stuff and like going, oh my gosh, she's amazing. So I can't wait to get to know you. I'm excited. Thank you for being here.
Oh my God.
Right quick. How is Paris?
Oh, magnificent.
Listen, you took so many great opportunities to get your little videos going. You're just so adorable to me. Love it. I love it.
I every opportunity is something that I have learned to capitalize on. I say not tomorrow, but now. Right. No opportunity wasted. And I'm like,
I love
every opportunity, I'm going to capitalize on it.
Right.
There you go.
Now, did you recently have a birthday?
Yes, I did. June 6th. I turned the big 60. So, yeah.
60 is just, and we say this often, but can you think back to when your parents' friends were 60? Did they look like this?
No, my mama didn't look. I remember my mother at 54, and I remember she did not look like any one of us. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was just different. It was different.
I don't have that confession. My mother and my father both. I remember when my father, right before he was diagnosed with cancer, he was 73. Everybody thought my dad was in his 50s. He looked so strong. He was so fit. And my mother looked really, really young, always looked younger than she was until she got sick.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, she was kind of sick the whole time, but when she got really, really sick, that's when you could start to see. Yeah. But she told us when we were 18, she said, no, I'm sorry, 12. She said, when you turn 8, from now until you turn 18, you're going to look older than you are, which was completely true. Like I got into, well, I shouldn't be saying this, but anyway, but when I turned 18, it started happening. And she said, that's how the women in our family are. And I can go back to like my aunts and my grandmother, they all kind of, and I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what that is.
Whatever it is, you are a blessed one, because most of us saw them. They aged up a little bit as they got up. But that's enough of that. I want to talk about you, Miss Arnita. Give us where are you from?
I am born and raised in Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Virginia, and that's where I got all of my foundation from that state. And also going to Houston, Texas for my education, and then knowing that I always wanted to come to California since I was a little girl. I just migrated here, no family, no nothing, just said, I'm going to California.
So when you say that in Virginia, you got your foundation, what was that foundation for you?
It was basically my 4 F words: faith, fitness, food, and passion.
There you go.
Faith definitely started with my mom saying, oh, you will go to church.
Oh, yeah.
You will go to church. Not understanding the magnitude or the impact that it would have in my life. I just went along with it because she never told me anything else wrong. But the faith, the food my mom used to cook. I mean, she cooked fried chicken, ham hocks, collard greens, neck bones, pig feet, all that. And I love food. I love food. It wasn't until I, switched from athletics and said, I want to keep my body because of being a world class athlete. I diverted to different substances like purging, um, bulimic, anorexic, all that. But it wasn't until I found my relationship with other people is the same with food. Sometimes it's toxic, and we all know in toxic relationships, it does not help. It does not help. It's like we have that midnight rendezvous at nighttime to the freezer, to the refrigerator, be like, hey, baby, knowing it's not good for you. Hiding food. I was a binge eater in the closet, just everything. But yes. So, and then the faith, the fitness, me being my sister was the one that introduced me to track and field. And I took a passion to it and furthered it for my scholarship, never paid for my education, got a full scholarship to Texas Southern University, made the Olympic trial finalists in 84 and 88 and 92, only to be stricken by Achilles tendons, both. Same time. Same time. Who does that? So that the fitness component, I was born with it. My sisters, she would put my in track, but I'd be like, I want to run. And it wasn't until I beat her and I said, oh, I can do this. I think I can go for the Olympics. And my idol, Wilma Rudolph, always wanted to go to not Texas, but Tennessee State. Ended up going to Texas Southern University, but that was the real TSU for me. And then fashion. Oh my gosh. In high school, in elementary, I would love to dress up. I don't care. I put on my mom's high heels because the way it made me feel internally. Mm-hmm. I could have looked jacked outside, ponytails all crooked and, lipstick all up here. But the way I felt inside, I think that's what radiated on the outside. It's like she got on a burlap bag and it's like, it's good, isn't it? It's bad. And so that's where the genesis of my 4 F words came from: faith, fitness, food, and fashion.
Wow. Nice. If I may, I would love to, first of all, I want to hear your whole story. So whatever abridged version you can give us, like from the beginning. But I definitely would like to revisit the bulimia eating disorder moment. Because as you were saying and about to say, a lot of people misidentify what that looks like. They have a certain expectation of what a bulimic person or an anorexic person or a binge eater is supposed to look like. And most of the time they don't look like that. They're kind of hiding in plain sight. Often they're overachievers. Often they are women and men who are perfectionists, who are really hard on themselves. And sometimes there's a component of punishment involved as well. And so I would love to hear kind of your journey into that space, through the space, and now on the other side of it, I would love to hear that, if you don't mind sharing.
Oh, no. Oh my gosh, I would love to. Because I felt that what was hidden would never come out. But as the word says, your sins will find you out, surely. But what the image that I saw in other women, because I was bulky, I was muscular. And women would look at me and say, are you a man? I mean, why you have all that on you? And that resonated with me because I was like, I'm a princess, I'm a queen. No, but I reverted to, I know what I'll do. I'll stop eating because I know I'll get thinner. I will just, as you said, I'll do everything on top. I'll be the best at everything. But when I did find myself falling, I didn't let everybody know. I just went into the little closet where my food stash was and ate. And once I got my feel, I went into the other closet in the bathroom and threw it up. I maintained that by eating just a little bit in front of people and saying, I'm not, I'm good, I'm good. And they go, oh my gosh, you stay thin like that. And it wasn't that. It's behind the curtains. It's in the dark that your demons just dagger at you. And it's the grace of God that I'm alive, because once I saw that people still did not see me as me being perfected like I thought I was, it was a struggle to say, why am I even here? Wow. Okay, why am I even here then? I can't do nothing right. The thoughts of suicide, the thoughts of giving up, the thoughts of going into hiding, parking without putting my hazards on. I didn't care. I didn't want anybody to find me. It wasn't until it was the grace of God, because on the outside, people saw this shell, and on the inside, it was malnourished. It was crying out for help, and it started to manifest in my face because my face broke out. My hair started falling all out. And they said that my eyes, I didn't see my eyes being gone. I just thought they were like huge and like, hey. But it started manifesting in the physical realm. Wow. But I didn't see it because I was so focused on, I got to be perfect. I got to be perfect. And that self-acceptance for me was huge, because I know I'm light. But it was horrible. But it wasn't until, and I say the grace of God, I learned how to fly. First, love yourself. Because I was no good to my daughter. I was irritated, and I started raising my daughter single parent at when she was 8. And I saw that you are no good to yourself, and you're no good to this girl that you just brought into the world. And it wasn't until I said, I gotta love me. I don't care if my hair is falling out. I don't care if I'm short. I don't care if I'm bulky. I gotta love me for me. Right. And that's when the transition started. But I wanted to change, but it was the transition. That's the problem with change.
Always, yes.
It's going through because you don't know what's coming next. You're transitioning.
Yeah. It's very easy for us to be comfortable in where we are, even though we're uncomfortable where we are. Because the change is the unknown. So if we could stay where we are and complain about it, that is even easier than going through the thing, because going through the thing is where it starts to pull at you, but you got to keep fighting through it. You got to keep moving through it to the other side. There's no other way around it but through it. So you had to go through it. And a lot of times, like you're saying, you have an understanding that there's nothing on the outside that's going to fix this. Even though I thought that if I looked this way, I thought that I did that, everybody will see it different, because it's really only your belief in self that's going to shift anything. Right. That's your belief in self. Wow. That's, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about life is we all have a journey, and it all gives it, every single journey brings us to becoming the person we are ultimately going to become. And it's like, as horrible as it can be when you're in that space, man, you just got to go through it to get to it. And look at you now.
I know.
It's now it's almost like you're so incredible now. I love the equipment that you've created to help others. It's just amazing but we all got a journey, right? No matter what.
We do. And I found that I was always trying to get to a destination. Get me there. Not realizing you got to go through the journey. You got to go through this. You can't just get to the destination. But that was my end result. Just get there. Get there.
But how about there is no there? Because as soon as you get wherever there is, you want to get to wherever there is, and then you want to get to wherever there is. So there is no there. The there is right now. The there is, what am I doing in this moment that's bringing the joy to me today? And that's where we have to really recondition our minds to think that we're not going after that thing. Because that thing really, people say, oh, fame. I wish I'd really enjoyed the moments of getting to the fame. because that's where all the joy was, in the steps, We had so much fun at the airport the other day trying to get to LA, but we could have been miserable during that whole airport experience, but we found joy in the moments, which then we got to LA when we got to LA, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's amazing. That's wonderful. Sylvia, you look like you have something.
No, I was just gonna. I mean, I have a lot going in my head, but I'm outside too. So if you guys hear, if my sound is weird, just tell me, and I'll go on mute.
Fine, honey. We don't hear anything.
But I thank you so much for sharing that. And I think a lot of people don't. When people are anorexic or they're battling that kind of thing, that's pretty visible. You can kind of see that. Bulimia is a little bit sneakier.
Yes.
You can maintain a physicality that doesn't scream unhealthy and still be bulimic, even if it's not the regurgitation part of it, but it's fitness bulimia, where people will work out for 5-6 hours a day rather than regurgitate. And I know because I've been there, and it was a similar path for a similar reason. I wasn't an athlete, but I was a model. And it didn't matter how you could always lose another 5 pounds. That was kind of what was always said to me. You can never be too rich or too thin. And what happens is, as you said, and as Terrah was just saying, and even and as Babette was saying, you get fixated on the goal, and you miss the journey. But what something I've been embracing of late, and I would probably say of late, the last 5 to 10 years, is the idea of I don't care about being the best. I care about getting better. Because being the best is temporary.
Yes.
Sydney is best at what she does right now, but in a few minutes, maybe a few minutes is 20 years, somebody's going to beat that record.
That's right.
Only be the best for a little while, but you can always get better. And that it forces you to fixate on the present, because you're watching the progress. If you're only looking at the goal, you're only thinking about reaching the goal. And then when you get there, you go, wait, what happened? Wait, how did
Right.
And so I just really thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's just.
You are welcome. I think for one, when what you just said was profound, because the best is you can't
measure
what's
that.
next?
Yeah.
What's next? But when I'm strong, I call it the ER. It's the greater. Whenever you add ER to something, it makes it better. Strong, add my ER. I'm stronger, I'm wiser, I'm healthier. And I remember looking at ER because it was like the emergency room.
Yes,
Where did we go? And I was like, be someone's ER, and starting with yourself. Be wiser, be calmer, be happier, be nicer, all those things. And so it's like, be somebody's ER.
Be kinder.
That's right.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Well, I love that. So can we jump a little bit into your whole Olympic situation, because so many people have a hard time transitioning too. When that moment of change, or when that moment of that highlight shifts, because they were chasing the thing. When that shifts, they don't know how to shift with it, and they get very caught up in feeling less than. So share a little bit about that journey into the Olympics.
But funny, I went to my first Olympic trials in '84, which I was still in college. And then I went to '88 once I finished college, the Olympic trials, and then '92. Once I didn't make that team, the transition, I didn't see it. And there was nothing set in place to help those individuals who missed the mark. It was a system that was set up for those like, yay, you made the team. But when I missed the mark, that was the most daunting. That was the most, I was like, what is there to live for? I've worked all my life for this, 12 years for 12 seconds. Because that's all it took to run the hurdles, 12 seconds. And most people don't want to go a year and say, I want to see evidence right now where I'm at. But it took 4 years for me to go back to the Olympics. So that resilience was there. But I didn't know how to transition. So I went and got my master's at Cal State Dominguez Hills, and I hated school. I hated it with a passion. But how I applied it was like the Olympic trials. Prelims, semis, and finals. preliminaries, getting into college, semis were midterms, and the finals was me getting my master's. But I had to associate something that I had that drive in me with. And so I associated each semester with the Olympics. I associated, oh, I'm on the stage, here we go. I'd walk into classroom thinking I'm walking on the track. Because it's just that mentality. But when I didn't make the team, and then after the it was 91 when I got my master's, and then 92 when I tried out for it again, and then 96 only to have, Achilles saying, you know what, sit your end down. So I didn't know how to transition, instead of looking and saying, it's bigger than you, Arnita. Your purpose is not just for you. Your purpose is to help others that have been in similar places, situations, relationships. It's not about you. And I found that it's bigger. I could not be the healthiest, or think that I'm the only one here. And it was like, people have struggles. Women have struggles with self-esteem, with relationships, with marriages, with themselves. And I thought, I can help. That's how I can transition.
Nice.
Out of myself. I thought I'll sacrifice what I'm going through just to help people, women, soar, seek God first, overcome your challenges and your hurdles, achieve better goals, and then radiantly shine. That's how I was like, we're going to soar. We're going to soar. We're going to seek, overcome, achieve, all radiantly. And that was God saying that. He was like, this is what you're going to do. It's like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. But when I found out my name was Eagle Girl, my Arnita really means eagle leader, eagle girl. To this day, I was infatuated with eagles. I am infatuated with eagles ever since I was a little girl. And one of my students in college, and when I was teaching at Mount Sac, gave me this, not knowing that.
Oh, wow.
Not knowing that I was infatuated. And I think this is about 30 years old. 30 years old. I've been at Mount Sac for 35. But when you know, the end story is, when you know who you are, it doesn't matter what people call you, it's who you answer to.
Wow, I love that.
It doesn't matter who people call you.
Perfect.
What title they try to place on you. I found that who am I and whose am I? I'm a queen. My God says I'm more than a conqueror. My God said I'm the apple of his eye. He said I can do all things. When I got that embedded in me, I don't care, toxic relationships, toxic situations, it was like, but God. But God.
I love it.
That's so good. And
that's beautiful.
Before we go to break, Terrah, can I just slip one quick little thing? Okay. You said that your name means eagle, you said?
Yes. If you Google Arnita, Arnita, it says Eagle Girl, Eagle Ruler.
Which explains a lot about and why you look the way you look and why you are, because scripture is it's Psalm something or other. I can't remember what the address is, that your youth is renewed like the eagle.
Oh, they will mount up with wings like eagles. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run and not be worried. They will walk and not faint. That was me. I was like,
that is you.
I'm an eagle. I'm an eagle. And I found that eagles do not mingle with chickens, buzzard, geese, ducks. They connect with other eagles. And I was messing with the chickens and the ducks, and I was ground level. But once I found I can soar, it's like deuces.
Well, you know what's funny, and then we're going to take a quick break here. Well, when I met Babette, we were at a church called City of Angels with O.C. Smith, and he used to always say, he talked about elevating your consciousness, and he says, and remember, swans and buzzards don't hang out together. You have to decide what level you want to, and I'm putting my words into this now, because I say, you have to decide what level you want to vibrate on. And when you decide that level, it's not that you can't turn around and say hello to a buzzard. Hello, but if you choose to stay in that consciousness, then I can't choose to hang out with you. I'm going to choose to rise with the eagles and the swans and the royals and that's my last. That would have been my last name, Royal. You know, because I always felt like I was a queen, and then I found out my father's last name would have been Royal and not Smith, had he taken his father. So there is something to rising above and being okay with that. Being okay with that. Because that is the other challenge when you come from a lower tier, so to speak, a lower tier of consciousness. It's very easy to believe that rising above that says something negative about you, that you're trying to leave people behind, or you're trying to move out of this neighborhood, or you're trying to, I want to live in a place and be comfortable in a space that feeds my soul. I would love for you to come with me, but if not, then I have to catch you after this sponsor break. We'll be right back.
And we're back with my girl, Arnita Champion.
Yes. And so it was great because she was just talking about being an eagle and what her name represents, eagle. So you discovered that, you start making your change. When you started to see the difference, when you started to see the difference in yourself, did you remember the feeling of what happened or what transpired inside? Because there is a feeling that takes place when you start to go, oh shoot, I think this is actually working out. It's making sense. Do you remember that?
I do. It wasn't the successes, it was the failures. The failures are what drove me. Because my coach would always say, you'll learn from experience. And I was like, I know all the experiences. So getting a mentor, getting connected with women such as you all, it's more than just learning from my own experience. If I can learn from someone else's experience, teach me. Right. I don't have to go through it and through it and through it again. If you can tell me a road less traveled, but it's better, I'll do it. But I think it's more so the realization that no one will remember either your successes or your failures until you bring them up. No one remembers your past up better than you. No one will remember it, but we tend to live in the past because we'll say, I remember when I was this. I remember when I was that. They don't care. They really don't. At this point, how are you going to enhance my life? I'm with you because how can we both further each other's goal? Your past, of course, that's in the past. What can we do now? And that's when it hit me. It's like no one wants to hear about I used to be this, I used to be that. But in my heart, I know it was the failures, that depletion, that not knowing what I would do is what drives me. It drives me because it keeps me aware that you're human and you only have today. Tomorrow never comes. No one says, when did you get your master's? Tomorrow. Tomorrow is a facade. It's a form of procrastination. Tomorrow never comes. You do it today and now. Yes. So that's when it came to realization.
Mm-hmm. Silvia?
Yeah, I was just thinking about here I go again. The quote that people aren't going to remember what you did or what you didn't do or whatever. What they will remember is how you treated them.
That's it.
That's what they're going to remember. They're going to remember how they felt around you, and from the perspective that we kind of roll in, the idea that when you can feel that energy, you can feel what frequency someone is on. You can feel where they're vibrating, if it's a higher or lower vibratory space. And when you walk into a room, have you ever walked into a room and you just felt like, ooh, and nobody said a word, nobody's frowning, but you can feel it. You know, it's the same with kindness and with empathy and compassion and love and all the things you're saying. When you carry that energy, it radiates. It's all around. It's all around you, and everywhere you go, it's like, what's the little character from not Schroeder? What's his one? Pigpen.
I don't know Pigpen.
But it from Charlie Brown.
Oh, okay.
Charlie Brown. But when you, and he always has his little smoke and all this little dust and dirt all around him everywhere he goes. It's the same with what we carry, that light that we carry. You know, when someone encounters that light, they're changed by it.
Yeah.
It's, and I'll say this and then I'll stop. Darkness and light are not opposing. Darkness is not the opposite of light. Darkness is the absence of light. And once light makes itself known, dark doesn't have a choice. When you walk into a room and flip on a switch, darkness can go, well, I think you know, you turn on light, darkness goes away. And it doesn't take but a little light to permeate the darkness.
That's right.
Right.
So that's what you carry. That's what you've carried. That's what you're sharing here today. That's what has permeated everything that you've done, even in those moments when you felt like, I'm done being here. I'm not going to stay on this planet anymore. I'm finished with all of this. I can't take another step, but you did. You took another step, and then you took another step and another step, and now you're here today. And my question out of all of that is, there are people watching this who are there. They're in the done moment. And we're probably going to need to put a trigger warning on this one, but they're in that done moment. They're in that moment where that thing that they gave their life to didn't happen. Going for the Olympics, that's a lifetime. That's a lifetime of mental and physical training for 12 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever it is. You talked about the grace of God, but if you could be a little more specific to people, just talking to the people who are in that moment where they just turned us on and went, what y'all talking about? I need to be encouraged. You know, what is it? What would you say?
For one, I have to say this. I doubted God. I turned my back on God. I said, you know what? You didn't allow me to make the Olympics. I trusted you. I gave all to you. I said, I'll follow you. I quoted scriptures and said, I will trust you. You said you'll take care of me, and you didn't. And I found myself saying, you turn your back on me, I'm going to turn my back on you. And I mean, I was into everything. I mean, whatever you can name it, Arnita was in it. I was in it, and I was in it for revenge.
Let me ask
because I was like, you know what?
When you
Go
say
ahead.
in it, can you elaborate a little bit?
Oh, yeah. I was into drugs. I was into pornography. I was into all types of sex. I was into adultery. I was into just bitterness, anger, and revenge. Whatever I was selfish. Whatever I could take from people, I would take it. And not even, I'm not giving you nothing back, because I gave everything at one point in my life and I got nothing. I was stripped of nothing. But God, I had to go through the fire, and I went through the fire with divorce, with bankruptcy, with raising a child, losing a home, living with people I did not know, just trying to make it with my daughter, living in places that I didn't know the people. Just, can I have a room? But I didn't want anyone to see me like, okay, Arnita's doing this. No, I'm going to hide all of it. I'm going to hide this. But God said, I will take you through the fire like a blacksmith. And a blacksmith leaves you in a fire until he sees his image in that sword. But he tentatively watches you. He never takes his eyes off the sword because it can be damaged. In the fire, he watched me and said, I got you, but I need to burn off the dross. I need to burn off that ego. It's not your amigo. I need to burn off that pride. I need to burn off that independence that you think you have. And I came out of the fire thinking, because I had been in it for, I think, 5 years. I've been in it, and I knew I came out looking toe up from the flow up. But when I came out, God is my witness. People said, you're glowing. I thought I smelled like barbecue. I wasn't singed. I wasn't scorched, but I was renewed. And it wasn't the physical part. It was my mind. It was my mind. And he said, I will renew your mind. And that's why I don't want anyone to think that it's a body physical thing. It's your mind. When you think you can do something, you can. When you think you can't, you can't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So I put my mind to it and say, I can do all things, not by myself. And if I can't do it, I will find my who. I'll find my Babette. I'll find my who, which will show me how.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's all about.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And you know, it's and I say this before because I have a program I call rewriting your script and redesigning your blueprint, because the blueprint is what most of us, that some of the blueprints have been given to us by our parents and their dysfunction and their, you know, how they grew up, that may not have been on the most uplifting side of town. But with that, you know, when you have to almost redesign yourself, and you write scripts where people need to exit your script, and you invite new people in. Now we have you in our script today, so it's really, really important that, you know, it's an inward job. It's not an external job. You can put on all the lashes, the lips, the booty, the arms, the legs, the nails, the, you know, guys, the mustache, the buff, the chest, and still be somebody I don't want around me, because there's nothing right up in the mind. And I want people who are doing that kind of work, because then I know when we're sitting down talking, if I have a mishap or I miss a beat, when you come at me, you're coming from a place of growth as opposed to from a place of just breaking me down or being mean, because I know you're about growth, so you're only going to see that in me. So it's really, really important that we do that. I want to jump to a little bit. Anybody else want to say anything to this? Because I want to jump over to her new business. Okay, let's talk about your new venture. Tell us about that.
I look at it. Soar is the key thing. Soaring, seeking, overcoming, achieving radiantly. But I couldn't have done that without going through and knowing that I was an eagle. The eagle goes up to the highest place to bask in the sun. It jacks off its beak. It tears off its beak to grow another one. It scrapes its talons against the rock, and it plucks out every feather that it has. Wow. If the eagle doesn't do that, it will die. And so I saw myself shedding everything. I said, I gotta watch my beak. I gotta watch what I say. Whatever I say, I have to know that it's gonna come to pass. I had to use my hands and say, Lord, I give you everything I have. I had to pluck off the luggage that I would carry into relationships. I had to pluck off the bad people, which I was like, just stay in here with me. Stay in here. I had to pluck off everything and found myself naked. And I loved it, because vulnerability is the best thing. It is. There's no judgment. It's like, here I am. And so when I went into my venture Soar, it was, I'm going to allow people with me to seek, not just by myself, but I wanted to seek wisdom. Just like Solomon said, I want to seek like we used to play hide and seek. You know, you went under the table, you were searching. And that's what I want to seek. That's how I want to seek. I want to overcome the past. I want to overcome the hurdles that are in front of every one of us. And those hurdles are different. Every person doesn't have the same hurdle. And then I want to achieve. Let's set our sights in baby steps, But you don't have to be an Olympian. Set your sight. What goal can you manifest, or what goal can you attract or attack now? Break it apart. Tear it apart and do one at a time. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to look toe up from the floor up to do it. You can do it all radiantly. So Soar, I have my journal. I journal all the time, because that's another way of keeping my mental health. I have my affirmation cards that it has an affirmation, a quote, and then on the back, it has your reflection. So you declare and you decree a thing with my affirmation cards. And then with my C-bands, I couldn't work out like I wanted to, so I created C-bands. And they were the most fire thing I've ever tried.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Ooh, ooh.
What are they?
Oh my gosh, they're.
Do you have one?
Yes.
Do you have one handy? I want you to just show them
how it works, please, because you gifted me with one, and I absolutely love it.
This is I call these my C bands. They're champ bands. They're Velcro, which we'll put this off, which you can put on your leg and on your arms. The other resistance bands is just the band that don't rise up or whatever. But these, no, they don't. They don't rise up because they fit your arm and your leg. If I'm sitting here and I want to work on my shoulder because I had surgery on my shoulder and everything, these can go up to 45, 50 pounds because of the resistance. But you don't have to worry about any type of injuries because it's controlled.
Wow.
When you're doing, I'm gonna stand up. Let me see if I think I got shorts on. Should I stand up? God dang.
As long as you have shorts on, that's okay.
I'm gonna stand up. Here we go.
You look cute.
Okay, cool. So this is how I work my arms. These puppies right here. You have like your biceps, triceps, which women have waves here instead of here.
Yes.
So it's like, hey, it's like, I don't want this wave and I want this wave. So with my triceps, this band is amazing. I can actually put it down, bring it up, and I'm doing a tricep.
Got it. Wow.
But right here is also a bicep because I'm holding
You're
it.
holding it, yeah.
It's like, ooh, ooh. This is for Mookie. If I could get on the ground, I will show you. But I put this on my legs. I put them on my legs, and I actually pull up. Boom. For your transverse. Boom. For your hip flexors. Boom. For your glutes. This puppy helped me, keeps me the way I'm looking now. I don't have to go to the gym. This is for upper body. It's for resistance. It's for cardio. I can put these on my leg and I can do a squat, but it'll give me that resistance because I'm going 1 and then up 2. And this is going out and then it brings you back. It'll snatch your body like crazy.
Where can people buy those from you?
ArnitaChampion.com. I made it simple.
We'll put that in the show notes.
Yes.
Champion.com. What's it called again? It's a C.
It's called C-bands, and they will make you burn. They say C-bands to make. They say bands to make you dance, but C-bands to make you burn.
Then you'll be dancing in the end because you'll be looking so good. You want to go out dancing. Hey. That band. Y'all better get the band. Get the band. I'm going to get me a band because I know it'll also help with just keeping your toning too. You know, and stretching because a lot of times we like to walk and hike like me, but I have to remember, stretch your body, stretch. You got to keep everything functioning, you know?
Everything right here. Pull it down. Pull it down.
I have one that feels good. All righty.
You know what I love about those too? I have bands at the house. I have all kinds of, but bands hurt your hands.
Yes.
Yep.
When you're stretching with bands, it hurts your hands. And, you know, sometimes you put your gloves on, sometimes you don't. But to have something that you can put here and here, and then you get that extension without, I also like the way that it forces an ISO moment. Because you have to have the resistance of that. It's so good. It's so good. I can't wait to get one.
Yes.
Yeah, it works. It's concentric and eccentric at the same time.
Right. Gotcha.
And that's the key thing. But I want to reach the masses, and I know that I have a platform for it on Instagram, but I know that I am even more effective in person because I love to teach. I love to touch. I love to just tell. And in person, it's different from on Instagram or on Zoom or whatever. So I am reaching out, and I have gotten appointments to speak regarding how to soar even when you feel like you're crashing.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
And I know, I know it's like you're flapping your wings. Oh gosh, I'm gonna die.
Right.
But my what I would say to people, if I had one word, and I know it may seem cliche or just, I've heard that, but put God first. I can't say it enough. I put myself first. I put everything else first, and it's just been temporary. Temporary. I don't want to be happy. Don't aspire to be happy, because happy is momentarily. It something makes you happy. Find that joy, because no one can take that joy when you have it. It doesn't matter. It's like your car just got totaled. Oh well. And I totaled a car in an accident, May 5th. It's like, oh, well, someone rear-ended me, someone ran a red light. But God, I'm right here today to lift it. Not today. Mm-hmm. Put him first. He will make you last.
Well,
beautiful.
We're going to end on that note. And thank you so much. Make sure you follow this sweet, beautiful queen here. Make sure you check us out on the next episode. We're bringing you some gems with some beautiful diamonds and crystals and eagles today. So we want to thank you all for tuning in. And before you go, we have one thing for you. If to answer, if you looked at your life, whether it was an hour ago, a month ago, 6 years ago, or the entire life, and you looked at it as if it was a book, what would the name of that book be?
Oh my gosh, so many things just came into my head. It was like, shut up, wait. I think the book would be Fly. Mm-hmm. It will be Fly.
Okay. Fly
so good.
by Arnita Champion.
Fly.
Make sure you check it out. Coming to a bookstore near you. Thank
That's
you.
right. That's like, gotta fly before you soar.
But it's so good because you are fly.
Yeah.
It's
yes, fly. Like, it's so good. It completely works.
You know,
I love it.
I immediately. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I immediately.
And you're an eagle.
Yes, but I immediately, when you said that, Bruno Mars has a song. Silk Sonic, that has a song "Fly Like Me." You know. It's the lyrics are just so, and I wish I could think of it, but it's a song about being fly like me. So there you go. Be fly like you, while she be flies like her, and we be fly like us. And we will see you guys the next time on Sunday Bites and Tidbits. Thank you for tuning in.